When Officer Daniels pulled over a black man driving a nice car, he thought he was about to make an easy arrest. But when that man quietly handed him a badge, an FBI badge, the smug look on Daniels' face vanished. And what happened next? It changed everything. For him, for the department, and for everyone who thought power meant prejudice. It was a hot summer afternoon in Atlanta. Traffic was crawling, the air was thick, and Officer Rick Daniels was sitting in his cruiser, bored out of his mind. Then he saw it, a brand new black Mercedes gliding down the road. The driver was a clean-cut black man, wearing sunglasses, calm and confident. Daniels' lip curled. "Yeah, right," he muttered. "No way that's his car." Without hesitation, he flipped on his lights. The Mercedes pulled over smoothly. The driver rolled down his window, polite and calm. "Good afternoon, officer. Is there a problem?" Daniels smirked. "License and registration." "Step out of the car." The man blinked. "Is there a reason for the stop?" Daniels leaned in, his tone sharp. "I said step out. Don't make this harder than it has to be." The man sighed quietly, unbuckled, and stepped out. That man's name was Marcus Green. And what Daniels didn't know was that Marcus wasn't just any man. Daniels circled the car like a predator. "Nice ride," he sneered. "Yours?" "Yes," Marcus replied calmly. "I bought it last month." "Aha," Daniels said, pulling out his radio. "You mind if I search it?" Marcus frowned. "Actually, I do mind. And unless you have probable cause, you can't." Daniels grinned. "Probable cause is I don't believe you." He opened the driver's door anyway. Marcus kept his hands visible, voice calm. "Officer, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake." But Daniels didn't care. He was already searching the glove box, tossing things around like he owned the place. When he didn't find anything, he got frustrated. "Turn around," he barked. Marcus shook his head. "I haven't done anything wrong." Daniels stepped closer, hand on his taser. "Turn around or I'll make you." Marcus sighed, slowly reaching into his jacket. Daniels yelled, "Hands up! Don't move." Marcus froze. "I'm reaching for my identification." But Daniels didn't listen. In seconds, Marcus was on the ground, handcuffed, surrounded by flashing lights. Another officer, Sergeant Lopez, arrived at the scene. "What's going on here, Daniels?" "Got myself a suspect," Daniels bragged. "Driving a luxury car, no ID, acting suspicious." Marcus, still on the ground, looked up. "My ID's in my inside pocket. You can check it yourself." Lopez crouched down, carefully pulled out the wallet, and froze when he saw what was inside. It was a gold federal badge. His eyes widened. Daniels, you better come look at this." Daniels strutted over, annoyed. "What is it?" Lopez held up the badge. "Special Agent Marcus Green, FBI." Daniels' face went pale. "Wait, what?" Marcus stood up, brushing off his suit. "Yes, that FBI. And congratulations, officer. You just assaulted a federal agent." The air went dead silent. Daniels stammered. I didn't know. You didn't say you were—" Marcus cut him off. "I didn't have to. You never gave me a chance." Lopez quickly unlocked the cuffs. "Sir, I'm so sorry about this." Marcus looked him dead in the eye. "Save it. I'll handle it." He picked up his badge, looked around at the gathering crowd, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "This, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when power meets prejudice." Then he walked back to his car and drove off, leaving Daniels standing there, humiliated. The next morning, Daniels was summoned to the chief's office. He walked in, sweating. Chief Roberts didn't even look up. He was holding a file, Marcus's file. "Do you have any idea who you laid hands on yesterday?" Daniels gulped. "Sir, I thought he was—" "You thought," Roberts interrupted sharply. "That's the problem. You thought instead of doing your job. He threw down a folder filled with dashcam photos and witness statements. Do you have any idea how bad this looks? The FBI has already contacted us. Daniel's stomach dropped. They did. Oh yeah, Robert said. And Agent Green has requested an official review of you. Meanwhile, Marcus sat at his desk at the FBI's local field office, typing up his report. He wasn't angry, at least not anymore. He was tired. Tired of seeing good people judged by the color of their skin. Tired of being profiled even in a suit and tie. His colleague, Agent Reed, walked in. You sure you want to file this, Marcus? You could just let it go. Marcus looked up, calm but firm. If I let it go, he'll just do it again. Maybe next time, to someone who can't defend themselves. Reed nodded. Fair point. The Bureau's backing you on this. Marcus smiled faintly. Good. Because this isn't about revenge. It's about accountability. Within days, an internal affairs investigation was launched. Dashcam footage confirmed everything. Daniels had no cause for the stop. He ignored protocol. And he lied in his initial report. The story leaked online. Local officer detains FBI agent in racially charged stop. The public went wild. Some called for Daniels' firing. Others defended him, saying he made an honest mistake. But Marcus stayed quiet. He didn't want a media circus. He wanted justice. A week later, Marcus was asked to attend a private meeting with the police chief, the mayor, and Daniels himself. Daniels looked pale, hands clasped tightly. Chief Roberts started, Agent Green, we'd like to formally apologize for what happened. Officer Daniels' actions do not reflect our department's values. Marcus nodded politely. I appreciate that. But apologies aren't enough. This can't happen again. Daniels finally spoke. Look, man, Agent, I didn't mean for it to go that far. Marcus raised a hand. You just what? Saw a black man in a nice car and assumed he was a criminal. Daniels looked down. Yeah, he admitted quietly. I guess I did. Marcus leaned forward. Then maybe you shouldn't be wearing a badge. The room went silent. Marcus stood, placing a file on the table. This is my report. I'm not pressing personal charges. But I'm recommending mandatory anti-bias training for your entire department and oversight on racial profiling complaints. The chief nodded immediately. Done. Then Marcus turned to Daniels. You can't undo what you did, but you can learn from it. If you don't, you'll end up hurting someone who doesn't walk away. Daniels swallowed hard. I understand. The department followed through. Daniels was suspended for 3 months without pay and demoted after returning. But the bigger change came from within. Chief Roberts, true to his word, launched a new bias awareness and accountability program. Officers were trained, monitored, and encouraged to connect with the communities they served. And Marcus? He volunteered to lead the very first seminar. When he walked into that classroom full of uniformed officers, including Daniels, he didn't come as a victim. He came as a teacher. He stood tall and said, You all wear badges. But remember, a badge doesn't make you better. It gives you responsibility. If you see a person as a threat before you see them as a human being, you've already failed your duty. Even Daniels, sitting quietly in the back, nodded. Months passed. The department began to change. Community trust improved. Complaints dropped. One evening, as Marcus was leaving the FBI office, he saw a familiar face waiting by his car. It was Daniels. Marcus approached cautiously. Officer Daniels. Daniels nodded. Agent Green. I wanted to thank you. Marcus raised an eyebrow. For what? For not ruining my career. You had every right to, Daniels said. But instead, you gave me a second chance. I've been working with youth programs lately, talking to kids about respect and bias. Guess I'm trying to do something right for once. Marcus smiled. Good. Keep it up. Daniels extended his hand. No hard feelings. Marcus hesitated, then shook it. No hard feelings. Just lessons learned. And for the first time, Daniels looked at him not as a suspect, not as a threat, but as an equal. A year later, the department's new training program was adopted by 3 other precincts across the state. At the official press conference, Chief Roberts credited both men. Agent Marcus Green and Officer Rick Daniels turned a mistake into a movement, he said. And our city is safer because of it. As the cameras flashed, Marcus stepped up to speak. Justice isn't about punishment. It's about change. Sometimes it takes the worst moments to create the best lessons. And sometimes, standing up doesn't mean fighting. It means forgiving and teaching people to do better. So what's the takeaway? Power doesn't give anyone the right to judge others. Real strength lies in character, in choosing empathy over ego. Officer Daniels learned that day that respect isn't about who wears the uniform. It's about who deserves it. And Marcus? He proved that one act of courage can transform an entire system, not through anger, but through grace. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more powerful, real-life stories where justice finds its way. Because sometimes, karma doesn't need to shout. It walks in wearing a badge.